So today we are going to discuss how we can achieve the loose coupling based using SATA and constructor injections based on XML configuration. So today we are going to discuss example one SATA and constructor injector or constructor injection based on XML configuration, not injector. I can say SATA and constructor injection example based on XML configuration. So the first example which I'm going to discuss here, we'll see how we can inject the dependency using the setter injection, using the constructor injection, using XML configuration file. I mean to say now to implement the IOC, somehow we have to write some configuration file, and to use that configuration file, we have couple of options. Either we can go via XML configuration, we can go via Java configuration, or we can go and write the configuration based on the auto-add. So the first example, or which I'm going to explain you here, that is the based on XML configuration. So I will write some configuration inside the XML, and I will show you what kind of configuration I have to write and what is the use of that, what is the purpose of that. But somehow I'm going to inject the dependency of my class based on the setter and constructor injection, or somehow I'm going to achieve the loose coupling based on the setter and constructor injection using XML configuration. Using XML configuration. So setter and constructor injection example based on XML configuration or using XML configuration, you can say. So for this kind of example, what I will do, let me move to the Eclipse, and there I will try to create one normal Java project. Okay. So let me share the screen of the Eclipse. I hope you are able to see my Eclipse. Here I have some couple of examples. So to just save that time, what I have did, I have already created some examples, and that example I am going to explain you line by line. But if you want to know how I can create the project for Spring code, this is the normal Java project. You have to come to the file, then new, and then you can select the Java project. For the Spring code, I'm not creating any Maven project. So since I'm not creating any Maven project, somehow I need to add the dependency of the Spring, and to add the dependency of the Spring or jar of Spring, what I did, I have downloaded from the Google, I have downloaded from some of the place, and I have kept in my the local. If you know how to get the project in the Maven, you can do that. Or just for the Spring Core example, we can go with the traditional approach, and then we'll start creating the project based on the XML, based on the like we'll create the project based on the Maven or based on the Gradle later. But for some of the example, I am going with the fully traditional approach. By the way, this approach is not suitable for the industry, but suitable for our POC. So what I will do, if I want to create any project in the Spring code, I will click on file, then new, and then Java project. And then you can give any name of this project and then finish. Same as I have did for one of the example, and I created one project. The name of this project is nothing but Spring XML based configuration. So here I have created one package. The package name is nothing but com.spring.injection.example. I hope you are able to see. Now here we have some classes. We have some class here. So we have 3 to 4 class. One class is named as bike.java. The other class name is bus.java. The other class I have as a traveler.java. So let me show you one by one what we have inside this all 3 classes. Okay. So let me show you that. So this class, you can see this is the bike class, and this class has two property or two we have declared two data member for this class. One is model and other is the price. So these two data member I want to inject. You can see this class is dependent on the two data member. One is the model and other is the price. So somehow I want to inject this model and price. So how I want to inject this model and price based on the setter injection, and due to that reason I mention here setter injection. So if you want to inject any of the property or any of the data member based on the setter injection, make sure you have the setter method corresponding to that method in your class. So you can see here, since I want to inject based on the setter method, I have the setter method for these two data member. Clear? So this is just a setter method. Now might be the question you can ask, how I can generate the setter method or how I can create the setter method. So for that also there we have couple of options. The first option, we can do the right click and go to source, and then from the source we have option of generate setter and getter. I will click here, and then once you click here, it will this pop-up will come or this window will come. Now here we will select this all the data member, and then I will select the setter, and it then I will generate. This generate button will be enabled. Let me show you. If I'm doing this, see generate method is enabled now. If I'll click while selecting the setter, it will generate the setter method. The other option, you can write manually. Okay, set price, and then provide the you can provide the data member here, and based on that you can write him. You can see in the every in the side inside this data method I created one. I just printed, I write one system dot out dot println. I just want to log this message, or I just want to print this message, so that we can get to know who is responsible to call this method and when this method is getting called. So I can say this set model method for bike is getting called. Now you can see here. So this is the two data member, and corresponding to this two, I have the setter method. I hope this is clear. Now what I did, I created one default constructor as well, and inside the constructor, this is non-parameterized constructor, and I created just one line of the message here, and then I just want to print the value of the model, and I want to print the value of the price. The second class which I have here, that is a bus class, and in the bus class again you can see this bus class is dependent on the two data member. One is the bus model, other is the bus mileage. And this two data member now I want to inject based on the constructor injection, not based on the setter injection. So if I want to inject this two data member based on the constructor injection, somehow you have to create the constructor using this two property, or whatever the property do we have, based on that you have to create the parameterized constructor. Since I have two data member here, I'm creating the one constructor with these two parameter. And somehow I'm printing one message, I'm writing one system.out.println, so that I can get to know when when this constructor is getting called. And then here also I have one method, and this is nothing but the show method. And here I just want to print the bus model and bus mileage. This information I want to print. So this bike and bus, this is a very simple class. In this class, just I have the setter method, constructor, and one normal method. That's it. We don't have the complex code here. Now we have other class, that is a traveler class. Inside this traveler class, let me remove many of the things from here. Okay, let me remove many of the things from here. So what I can do for this. So I'm going to remove many of the code from here. Okay, so let me remove unwanted line of the code. So I'm going to remove this. Okay, or what I can do. Yeah. So I want to inject this is based on the field injection. So if I want to inject this, okay, or I do not want to inject here based on the field injection. Okay, so what I will do here, you can see this traveler class. Somehow this traveler class is dependent on the again two classes. Okay, this class is dependent on the two class. One class is nothing but the bus, and the other class is nothing but the bike. So one more thing I want to tell you here, whatever the class you are getting inside the string, all class is known as bin. So here I can say that this traveler bin is dependent on the two bin. One is the bus bin and other is the bike bin. Or this class, traveler class, dependent on the bus class and bike class, both are same. So this field, bus field, this dependency I want to inject based on the constructor injection. So I can write so str is your constructor injection. And the second data member, or this second reference variable, or the second bins I want to inject based on the setter injection. this I want to, so here I'm mixing both setter and constructor both. So as we know, if I want to inject based on the setter injection, somehow should have, or I must have the setter method corresponding to this data member, and I have this. And make, see here, this data member is not the type of primitive data type, this is the reference data type. And because of that reason, I'm saying this class somehow dependent on the two bin, or this bin is this traveler bin dependent on the two bin. One is the bus bin, other is the bike bin. And since the bus bin, this dependency I want to inject based on the constructor injection. So somehow I have the constructor class, constructor for that, not class. I have the constructor with this parameter. And this dependency I want to inject based on the construct setter injection. And corresponding to that, I have the setter method here. And somehow I have one more message. Inside this message, I'm just trying to print the object value of bus, object value of bike, and then I am trying to call the method which is available inside the bike and bus classes on the reference of the bus class reference and on the reference of the bike class reference. So somehow the display method is available in the bike class. So on the reference of the bike variable, on the reference of the bike variable, I am calling the display method, and on the reference of the bus variable, I am trying to call the show bus method from the bus class. Now we have two more classes. One is the XML file, spring.xml file. What I have to write in the XML file, and what is the meaning of this all, and other is the main class. These two things we'll discuss in the next class. So we'll see you there and we'll discuss how it is working.